do you think about the use of the word nigger?
This is From Within, podcast series exploring the perception and realities from within the black community.
Hey everyone, good afternoon. This is Ramon Ray.
Hello, my name is Dawn Simmons.
Okay, I'm John Lawson.
Hi, I'm Charlie Sutton.
Welcome. I'm Dr. Alex Sutton, and this is FromWithinSeries.com. The word nigger has created a lot of controversy. Some black people say it's too painfully derogatory a word, bringing up images of skinheads and racists screaming threats and insults at them. Others say those days are behind us. Youth use it in everyday language as a pejorative and even endearing term. What do you say? Is it acceptable? John?
Is it acceptable? I mean, it is what it is. I mean, I'm not here to run around and act as if I have never said the word before, and I can't believe people saying it right now. It's so silly. I mean, but, you know, if it bothers you, don't say it. I don't know whether it's acceptable or not. I don't really understand the argument.
Is it something that you use or that you use regularly, either in your own company or with groups, or does it never really come up for you? Well,
let's look at the origin of the word, you know, because I don't like throwing. Let's put it like this: if I am in the room with my spouse and I say, "Hey, sweetheart, do something X, Y, Z." Thank you, darling. I can say that. Now, if you say that to my spouse, there might be a problem. So I kind of feel that that's the way the N-word, which I'll use for right now, but using that word is. There are occasions where it gets used, and it's not offensive. But when it's used for me in a specific situation, it can be very offensive, especially when it's used by a white person derogatorily towards me.
Okay. And Dawn, what do you think?
I think if you're among other people who are also black and they use it and you're among your friends, I think it's okay. I mean, sometimes people make things, you have to be politically correct on certain things. Yes, nigga is not a nice word, but among friends and just being among others, sometimes you just say it and you don't really think about it. Now, if it was a white person saying it, I would have a big problem about it. But I think part of it is that it's an unwritten rule, kind of that, yeah, black people may say it amongst themselves, but people of other colors should not use that word because you get very offended by it.
And the reason that you get so offended by it is what?
Because I feel that when people of other races are using it, they're using it in a derogatory sense. And I know that sometimes I've been in groups where you have a group of friends that are all black, and there might be somebody who's of a different race, and they may feel comfortable using it, or they may think that it's okay to use it, but it's never really okay because no matter what you may say or how cool you are with your friend, you always feel that there might be just that little bit of racism there. And somebody feeling free to use it, you just always think, what are they really thinking? Are they really thinking that I'm a nigger? And it just kind of brings you back to slavery, and we're never that cool. So I just think that, amongst other black people, yes, it's okay to use it. I know some black people don't like using it, and that's fine because it is an offensive word.
So, Raymond, tell me, what do you think about, particularly with the young people, using it so freely and so pejoratively or even endearingly? What do you think about the use of the word nigger?
Yeah, Alex, A, I'm offended by it. 2, I hate using it. 3, I don't want anybody to ever call me that. No one, black or white or Spanish or Greek for that matter. So I'm totally reprehensive or appalled. I'm trying to find the biggest word I can use at the use of the word. So that's overall point 1, to be very clear. Having said that, I do understand it. especially how John explained it. I totally understand it in family, as it were, behind, not closed doors, but, in a community around, black people. I totally understand it. I get it. So when I say offended me, if another, person called me that, in a way, an affection, I wouldn't be offended to that degree. If you understand kind of, I hate to speak double talk, but meaning would I correct them and say, hey, don't call me that or not answer them? Of course I would, because I understand how they're using it. But for me, it's offensive. I don't like using it. And having said that, I'll be very clear to protect the innocent people in my own family, and I'll just leave it at that. I won't mention their names. But, yeah, they use that word, and people very close to me know when they say, yeah, Ramon, whatever title they call me, we know you don't like the word, so we won't use it, whatever it is. So for me, nah, Alex. And I must say, going back to young people, and as I happen to be in the New York City area on the train, where I cringe the most, and as I said, black on black doesn't bother me at all. I know it's endearment, I get it. But where it endears me is we got 5 black guys on a train calling each other a nigger, going back and forth, and the train is full of 90% Caucasians, white people. That, I just hold my head in shame and embarrassment. It's horrific. So that's my 2 cents. And again, as Don and John have hinted, the other thing, which that really brings up my hackles is, when you have young people who are trying to be quote-unquote black, whether they be white or Spanish or Chinese, calling each other that, or especially calling other black men that really bothers me. You got a regular, just off the Mayflower boat white guy talking to another black guy, they're both friends, and says, yo, my nigga, what's up? I mean, that's a problem. That's a problem.
Have you ever slipped up and used it in that context or another?
Never my entire life. Now, I'm sure if I was testifying to Congress at some, hearing, I'm sure they'd find some tape somewhere in the resources, depths of the NSA or something. But seriously speaking, no, it's a word I just don't use.
Well, I remember back, I'm just recalling a situation now, and it's going to be open for anybody to respond to, where I was working with a group of kids, and one of the kids in the group had committed suicide, and the Hispanic kid, and who his friends were talking about what happened and how they felt about it. And one young man was extremely close to this young man, to this kid who killed himself. And he kept saying, but he was my nigga. You don't understand, because he was my nigga. And
right.
For a while, that word kept getting stuck. I kept getting stuck on it because I wanted to respond emotionally to the word nigga, but I knew he meant something else. I mean, it's almost like a sense of endearment with this young person. Does anyone ever have experience like that where the word is being used, but they don't mean it in a pejorative way, they mean it more of an endearing way?
Yeah, this is Ramon speaking. And I think, Alex, I totally agree with you on that. I mean, I totally understand that we've all heard that so many times. I've been called that. So, again, it's hard to, speak fully on this, but I guess for me, I hate it, don't use it. But, Alex, you're totally right. I've heard it many times, especially with people who just don't know or aren't aware, or that's how they grew up. We all have different ways we've been educated and taught, and et cetera. So in uses like that, I totally get it, and I roll with it.
I just...
Go ahead, please, yes.
Oh, hi, this is Dawn. I was just thinking of when President Obama gave his last roast and Larry Wilmore called him, hey, and he said, you're my nigga. And everybody was just all, they were up in arms about it. They were so upset about it. But President Obama took it in stride because he knew what Larry Wilmore meant. So, and in that sense, it was kind of like, oh, my gosh, what is he doing? But at the same time, being a black person, you knew what Larry Wilmore meant. So, but I wasn't very happy about it, to be honest.
What did he mean?
Well, what do you think he meant?
I think he meant it as a term of endearment, my nigga. Although I don't think it was appropriate, but he did it.
Yeah, but that wasn't appropriate. That was his act too.
Yeah.
So he thought about that. It was premeditated, and that's the part that I didn't like about it, because he already knew. I don't sit around. I could be, like you said, at the family picnic doing the blah 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 blah. My nigga, what a nigga. But if I'm in the office, you're never going to hear me say that, even if the same 3 people walk in the room. So I thought he premeditated that. He thought it was going to be a good joke, and it did not float.
Right. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Now, I just want to give y'all one example, because one thing you have to realize, I didn't realize this, is that that use of that word is very American, right? So if we want to talk about how that plays out in the rest of the world, I've had instances where I've been in other countries and that word has come up, right? So it's not like, so like here in America, I could be sitting in the car with a bunch of white people, the song come on, they're going to blank out the N-word because I'm sitting in the car. Knowing darn good and well, when I'm not in the car, they'll be like, nigga, 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 right? However, when I went up, right, I mean, it's true. Exactly. It's true. Yeah. This is the truth. Let's talk truth, right? So the deal is when I was over in Australia, same instance, I'm in the car, and the white Australian's like, nigga, nigga. I'm like, dude, you're not supposed, look, I'm here. You're not supposed to be saying that. But they didn't get it because culturally it's not the same.
Hey, John, can you clarify that, John? You mean they were using as endearment, calling you that, or singing? Just clarify that with the Australians.
They were just singing it in the car, in the song.
Oh, yeah, John, I echo you on that, man. We were living in a certain neighborhood with our neighbors, and they were Spanish / maybe white. You know, you couldn't tell what they were, but they weren't black people. John, I'm hearing them half drunk, yelling from the porch, whatever that song is. And, you know, I again, as you know, John, I don't, you know the kind of music I listen to, John. Me and John go way back. So, but they're whatever the beat's going, you know, boom, boom, and drop, and nigga, nigga, and just whatever it is. And me and my wife are sitting there in our home or like on the porch, going to church or Saturday night, whatever it is. And I'm like, I wish you guys see my face right now. The blood drained. I'm looking at their porch. I'm like, no, are they singing that? So yeah. I hear you, John. I'm like, I wanted to run to the porch and say, no, you don't do that. These are three big dudes, you know, half drunk. Next thing I know, we'd have crosses coming out. So I just chilled. But I hear you on that, man.
Yeah, it's very cultural.
So is it also
we have our norms.
Is it also an age issue? I mean, is it because you're older and you're younger? Or, I mean, you'd never sit around singing that song if you're black and older, I mean, or would you? I mean, is this an issue of age?
It definitely is an issue. I mean, everything's cultural. I mean, 1970, the top comedy album was That Nigga's Crazy. Today, they'd have to blank it out and put a piece of black tape over the word. I mean, so, yes, you know, I mean, I think there could be a whole thing about the word nigga and how it went through everything and how did we get to this point where the N-word became, nigga became the N-word. Well, let me just tell you. Basically, that happened during the OJ trial. So when the actual word nigga was about to get a black person off, they came up and changed it to the N-word, So, any rate, it's been through a whole lot in this country, and it means a whole lot of different things to different people. But today, the introduction of that word usually comes through some stupid rap song that doesn't have any real meaning behind the word. It's just another lyric to them.
Well, John and Dawn, if you both call me that in the street, I will take it with offense, and I will give you both a hug and a handshake, and I will smile at you, okay?
Okay.
You got it.
Definitely.
From Within, podcast series, brought to you by Edge City Design with...
Hey, everyone. Good afternoon. This is Ramon Ray.
Hello. My name is John Simmons.
Okay, I'm John Lawson.
Hi, I'm Charlie Sutton.
Hi, I'm Dr. Alex Sutton.
Produced and directed by Patty Meyer, Edge City Design. Technical Director, John Gilbert. Associate Producer, Rosa Frykowski. Voiceover, Donna Coney Island. This is From Within, podcast series. www.fromwithinseries.com